All right, here we go. Hit live.
Fucking A right.
Welcome in, everybody, to episode 280 of the official Butthole Podcast. We have Gage's Rage live on the streets of Vegas. Gage, how are things flying?
It's pretty fucking sweet, boys. There's a casino everywhere you could look. It's my first time, and got to start off with some awesome Vegas money, so things are good in the Gage's Range.
I heard that you were playing a game of, what was it? Call Your
Let
Shot?
It Ride.
Let It Ride. Tell us about that.
Let It Ride is it's a poker-based game. You guys score poker hands, and you have 3 antes basically in the game. And at any point, you can pull bets back, and you're trying to get jacks or better poker hands. And your boy hit quad deuces.
Woo! Quad deuces, that a boy?
Yeah, paid me pretty freaking sweet. So, $15 bet turned into 500, or $10 bet turned into 500, 50 to 1.
There
Nice.
you go.
I'm no good at geometry, but that sounds good.
Yeah,
No,
I was risking it. Played my 3 pairs. I didn't pull any back, so 1,500 on the first couple hours down in the card room. So
You've never been one to pull out. I know that.
Hey,
oh
and you
fuck
got
no!
an extra $100 you pocketed from me. So
Yeah,
no,
we got
this
the
sucker just
$100
sent me
roulette.
$100.
The
I'm
$100
gonna
roulette
pocket it.
does not work. I've tried a couple myself, Star, and I have not won one yet. So
Really?
I'm not a roulette guy. I'm gonna stick to cards. Stick to it.
How close are you to a roulette table?
Currently, probably about, like, if it was just GPS dropped over our head, like a couple hundred feet, it wouldn't be far.
All right.
But
Next
I'm
table
up
you
in the
see, I
hotel
need you
room
to
right
throw 5 down on 17.
you can't do it live on computer. They got Vegas. They really
that's
fuck
fine.
you
You don't
up.
have to do it live. I just need you to do it.
5 on 17. All right, and then what does that roll into after it gets 36 to 1 on that W?
Then we go into 23.
Okay.
Roll
17
everything
into
on to 23. Yep. And when that hits, take 100 for yourself and give me the rest.
Sounds good, boys.
Well,
It was
so
a wild weekend in Guillotine League this week, right? It was fantasy episode. We got to talk about that.
well, we don't have to. I mean, technically, both Scott and I are getting eliminated in different leagues. I am a guarantee, and we talked about it a little bit off air. I decided, you know what, Myles Gaskin is going against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's good. They got a really good run defense. I didn't think that he was going to catch 10 passes and 2 touchdowns and put up 31 points. So if I would have started him, I'd still be here today. But come tomorrow, I'm in the graveyard.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
And
If you guys were all ripping on me for spending some money, how much graveyard money are you bringing, Brandon?
in that league, I don't know. Enough, give my children something nice. Little inheritance.
You got to go all in on your team. It was a good fantasy week for some, but I think I actually am going to win all my fantasy leagues this week.
That's an accomplishment
good for
right
you.
there.
All in on the Chargers offense. That was a pretty stellar game. If we want to do the fantasy 101, we could talk about going all in.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go into the Fantasy 101. Here we go.
All right. We're going to talk about going all in. Stacking teams can be super risky, but one thing that it can do is when you have a Chargers offense that puts up 49 points, can get you a solid 90 points in fantasy production from 2 or 3 guys. So stacking is a pretty ideal situation for fantasy football if you're confident in a team. Like the Cardinals, you can stack Kyler Murray with any of those wide receivers, A.J. Green, Rondale Moore. One week, those will pay off in a major way.
Stacking them with DeAndre Hopkins, but yeah.
You can stack the Browns backfield.
Yeah, that worked out like more times than not.
Yeah, the 1 week though, Demetri Felton goes off, and who knew that was a guy? But yeah, fantasy 101. If you're feeling like gambling, you're down on the tables, you get some money on the line. Let it ride on one team and one team only.
And if you hit a week where they win 47-42, odds are you're gonna have a good time.
Excellent.
But if you go all in on like the Chiefs this last week, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah,
Yeah, what a
that's
terrible stack. Mahomes, Hill, and Clyde would have been.
Would have gotten you chopped in multiple leagues. There's no doubt about that.
Woof.
So that is my fantasy 101. We're about to head out here for some dinner, but
Where are you going?
we're gonna go check out the Pepper Mill tonight.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I think the K-Fan guys go there every time. So,
Hey, don't name drop them. We don't know who they are.
oh, sorry. Yeah, just
Never heard of her.
I've heard it a lot. I'll say that. So
They do actually go to Peppermill.
If you guys get a chance, maybe for dessert, there's a place called Sapphire there that has some pretty good candy.
all right.
So check
We went
that
to
out
the
as a
Hershey's
group.
World, so I got some Reese's to eat up here afterwards too. But
Nice.
There's a ranch house that I heard has really good thighs, chicken thighs and breasts.
maybe you should take the wife there. I think I'm losing you guys a bit. Good luck. We'll see you guys next week.
When you came in, be careful. God, do we really need gauges on, Brandon?
I don't know what's going on. There we go. All right, we're back. And we're going to be getting into a little bit of fantasy talk this week. Actually, should we kick it off with the best and worst acquisitions of last year?
Let's do it
Just all
because, especially from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, because some of mine are defensive players.
Well, there's IDP leagues.
Yeah.
From a fantasy perspective, though, alone, we talked about two leading up to the cast, which we'll now unveil to the audience. Star Lamar, who was your number one?
Will Fuller. And I don't know what anybody really would have expected out of him because he's very inconsistent in Houston. But people thought he was going to be the guy. He had the suspension. He dealt with that. And then he took some personal time off from the team where they didn't really say why. And then now he's on injured reserve. And just a waste of a paycheck that Miami's giving him every week.
Now, the reason that Miami paid him so much for one season is because they had a lot of money to spend. So, from their perspective, it was kind of worth it. But obviously, Will Fuller has been an absolute disaster. He hasn't played much, and when he has, he's been ineffective. On the flip side, Jalen Waddle's been a good addition for them from a rookie perspective, but we'll stay on the busts, which leads me to my guy, Kenny Golladay. And Brandon knows as well as any, he owns a share or two of him.
Galladay had a good week last week. It was good, decent. Went down this week without a catch. Quarterback goes out, he's hurt. But the Giants had injuries all across the board. Shepard, Slayton, their tackle, is it Andrew Thomas? Is that who they drafted last year?
Yep.
They were all
out for the game.
To start.
And then during the game, the bug
Saquon,
kept biting.
yeah, ankle injury. He's probably done for at least a handful of weeks, the way that one looked. Daniel Jones didn't know how to walk to the exit of the stadium. He forgot where he was at. Thought he was back at Duke. And then Kenny Golladay goes down with a knee or a thigh injury or something. So that's always fun.
If you're watching and you have busts of your own, throw them on here. We'll get them added. I have another one. Julio Jones.
In a fantasy aspect, I would say definitely.
What were we going to say?
Well, I was just going to bring up the Daniel Jones concussion.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's just reactionary for him to try to run back to the huddle? Or do you think he knew he couldn't walk and was just fumbling all over the place?
I think he got his daylights knocked out. I think he got knocked. Ben Lieber had a name for it today. But basically, where you just knock stupid, where you don't even know what's happening. That actually happened to Brandon once in high school.
It did.
It looked like Luca, where
Never been the same.
person was trying to learn how to walk for the first time.
Yeah, he looked
He couldn't figure out how to put feet in.
Well, do you remember? I think it was 2 years ago in the playoffs when that happened to Mahomes. He got hit hard and he got up and walked.
Did he come back in the game after that?
Towards the end of the game.
He's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams got knocked out. He came back in the game 2 plays later.
Concussions only affect mid-range players.
It's true. And then Devontae Adams after the game goes, "I'm just built different." No, dude, you just get paid a fucking shit ton.
They needed you. One for me, Juju.
Yeah.
He went back to the team, but he hit free agency, tested the waters. He had offers, and he went back to the Steelers. To me, been a disappointment. Now his season is in jeopardy, I think.
It is
Yeah.
over.
Is
He
it over?
Just had surgery today.
Shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good news for Deontay. I'm thinking his value in fantasy is skyrocketing. So if you want to trade for him, he's going to cost you. And also, speaking of pass catchers,
I need a running back.
we do have a lot of pass catchers on this list. I know this person that I'm about to bring up was hoping to catch some more passes this year.
Oh,
Kyle Rudolph,
Oh, yeah. He is non-existent.
$12 million over 2 years. And I don't know, maybe he's doing something in the running game, but you don't really hear his name at all. So
yeah, not really. But at
Seems
least he's got an offense coordinator as a coach now, not a defense coordinator for the first time. So
yeah,
he's got that going for him. Obviously, Tim Tebow was a disappointment at the beginning of the year.
he was on my best side.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
When I was thinking worst acquisitions, I threw Urban Meyer on there.
Interesting pick.
Yeah, I don't think he's cut for the job.
No. I think he's learning that you need to give Robinson the ball, which is good. Defensive side of the ball, though, I have William Jackson III, who signed a fat contract in Washington.
Yeah.
And haven't seen a ton of Washington games, but I know they're getting lit up.
Their defense is horrible.
Defense is not looking like what they were last year, and he has a 48 PFF grade, which sounds bad to me. I don't really know what the PFF grades go. And then
I think up to 100.
sticking to the same position, Brashad Breeland. I know he got on Twitter and said some shit yesterday, but
What did he say? I never looked into it.
He said something like, I see you guys can't keep my dick out your mouth. Just enjoy the win, or something like that. And then he deleted it immediately. And he was referencing the fans.
Yeah, I heard that much.
but, and as a player, it's got to be hard to have a fan base say this guy sucks.
And
Yeah,
you want to know
but-
something even more funny? He was ranked, I think, 103 out of 105 possible cornerbacks coming into the week. He's now ranked 107 out of 112.
Oh,
So he fell down in the rankings, but up on the, I guess, sample size. Because I was fifth from the bottom, but he's technically lower than he was last week.
still worse than where he was at before.
Yeah.
Yeah, still not a good thing. Did you guys see what Leighton Vander Esch came out and said the other week?
No.
Last week? I think it was after, who was the guy that they cut? Jalen Smith.
Yep.
Vander Esch was pretty much saying that, fans don't understand what the players have to go through. We're human too. We have jobs, and when you guys are tweeting about us leaving and thank God that they're gone, you don't understand that we have to pack up and leave and move. And I get it, but at the same time, that happens to everybody with their careers. They get criticized for poor performance. They get criticized for not doing the job, or showing up on time or having good ethics in the workplace and shit like that. They're not on the same level, limelight-wise, but at the same time, everybody deals with that. You just get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And the reason they get paid millions of dollars is because of fans. So I'm going to keep your dick in my mouth, Breeland. How's that sound?
Good, I guess.
I'm trying to think of the other guys that were complete busts.
I threw Big Ben on there. Them not moving on from him.
Because he was technically a free agent, or did they just restructure him? I don't think he ever hit the market.
He didn't. He was contemplating retirement, and then I think they restructured, so he took less money to stay with the team. But that was a bad move. I put Chris Herndon on there. It was a bad acquisition for the Vikings.
Terrible. That was a trade for, but still terrible.
Yeah,
Actually, so was
Yeah,
Julio.
that's true.
but that was god awful. I did put Andy Dalton on there at first, but I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Fantasy aspect, yes, but as the Bears, I don't know if I still agree with
How the
that.
hell is that team 3-2?
Luck.
And they destroyed the Raiders in Las Vegas. We'll get to that in the next episode.
How do we
But
feel about the Carson Wentz acquisition?
He was on my list as well. I would call that a bust.
it's been a complete disaster. But
I
it's
don't know if
been
I'm ready to say
outside of the it hasn't been a disaster because he's just been bad. It's been almost everything else.
They're a very similar team to the Vikings of being in very close games and just finding ways to lose them.
Yeah.
Colts are not a bad team.
No.
I know they only have one win, but they're one possession game.
Thankfully, that division is it's bad. The Titans don't look good either. They can't. I mean, Derrick Henry looks good, but Tannehill hasn't done anything. AJ Brown has been hurt. Julio's been battling it. He hasn't been great either.
They played the Jaguars,
Yeah.
and they were able to get a win, right?
I see what you did there.
Robbie Anderson's actually been a bad addition as well.
That is not this year, though.
I thought he went back there this year. He went back there last
He
year?
signed a 2-year deal, I think.
He was not back there. He signed there last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. I thought he went from Carolina to the Jets back to Carolina. I'm wrong.
That was really adult of you to admit that. Thanks, John.
I don't do it very often, so enjoy it.
We know.
What else is there? That's probably about it for big time busts from acquisition wise in the offseason.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think you can call Darnold a bust, even though
No,
they're
he's
coming off of a couple bad
he's been-
performances or one bad performance by him.
he's been
Two
very
now.
good though. Let's go.
Hopefully.
What else? Should we get into some top injuries of the week, which there was a shit ton?
Yeah, do you have a list?
I'll pull up a list.
I mean,
Yeah.
as far as position-wise, we're going to start quarterback. Starter for sure, Russell Wilson. He's out for an extended period of time. Thursday night.
6 to 8 weeks, I think, is what it is.
Yeah. And then there was a slew of them yesterday. Daniel Jones, Joe Burrow.
Kenny Galladay. Derek Carr got hurt. and came back.
Quarterbacks. Yeah, Derek Carr left and came back. I felt like we were seeing a lot of quarterbacks in the field.
Jacoby Brissett got hurt. He got knocked out of the game.
Justin Fields, for a minute, he was getting beat up a little bit, but
Who does
he made his way back.
Mike Glennon's Dolphins, right?
Mike Lennon was on the Giants.
The Giants. Okay, yeah, he came in for Jones. Yep, that's right. Yeah, kind of
his pick.
all over the place. A lot of guys were getting hurt yesterday. Saquon Barkley, we talked about a little bit. He hurt his ankle.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know. This is therapy session right now. Obviously, you've had a few injuries on that team so far this year.
Yeah, some preseason, some during the season. If I have to run Mark Ingram and Damian Williams, it's gonna not be a fun time.
I play you next week.
Do you?
I don't know. I hope so.
I'm trying to find the.
The super spreaders.
That's me. No, I play Scott. It'll be a fun one. Yeah, Trey Lance hurt his calf. Rob Gronkowski was out with a rib injury. Sounds like he is a go, though, this Thursday.
Could be very close, according to Bruce Arians. As we go through this, let us know if you guys think of injuries or what you have for your 2 cents on some injuries. Justin Fields appears to be fine after suffering a knee injury. He went into the medical tent. I actually texted all of you guys about it, and then Star Lamar said he just came out of the medical tent. So his injury was a knee injury. He played and finished the game, though. I didn't watch the second half of that game like at all. Did he look very good, or was it just kind of an ugly game altogether?
I didn't catch much of that one either.
Okay.
I think it was mostly a defensive game. They had their two-headed back. They had replaced it. Montgomery did well. I think they had 140, 150 yards combined.
Herbert looked very good. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry. Looked shifty, dynamic. He's definitely a guy you should look at adding on waiver wires.
How concerned are you with Darnell Mooney?
I'm concerned with the whole passing game in Chicago, but I've been concerned since the start of the season. Allen Robinson, for where he was drafted, has been one of the biggest busts of the fantasy season.
Oh, absolutely. He was drafted to be your number 1 wide receiver in a lot of leagues. Probably third round.
There are rosters that have A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, and Robert Woods, or 2 of the 3. If you have those guys, you probably don't have a win.
Wow. Like Robert Woods played well this week.
Yeah, but there's a chance you didn't start him.
Yeah, he got started against me. It hurt.
I'm just saying,
I
if you drafted, it depends. It's all situational. Most people were probably still starting him, especially after all of the rhetoric leading up to the game, because Sean McVay was saying we got to get him the ball.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford said they got to get him the ball.
Defenses are saying we got to stop Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
So that's when it's
Yeah.
going to open up.
It was
And
a
they
match
were
made in heaven.
feeding Woods.
And
Absolutely feeding
Yeah.
him. So they were playing catch up as far as receptions go.
But Darnell Mooney, I have his stats pulled up here. 7.6, 12.6, 1.9, 18.5, Fields' first full start,
Without
and
a
then
touchdown.
6.5. It's just he's got 2 games over 10. You don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it. I still think he's a nice little asset to have, but at the same time, right now, until Fields figures his stuff out, I don't think you can even flex Mooney at the moment.
He's a stream out of desperation type of player at this moment.
Yeah.
He's not a matchup guy. He's not anything like that.
No.
You have bye weeks. Maybe he has a good game.
Yeah, because as Fields gets more and more comfortable in the offense, he's going to get more targets. At least one of Robinson or Mooney will end up becoming, I think, an okay option.
And actually, it looks like Mooney and Allen Robinson have roughly around the same points because Mooney's had a couple down weeks, but the highest week so far for Robinson, 10.5.
And that's with touchdown.
Not good. Not good at all. I mean, he's got, 17 catches on the year through 5 weeks of play.
Yeah, well, the biggest reason for these guys not succeeding has been the quarterback carousel for the Bears. They've been a disaster at the quarterback position. And when you have a disaster at your quarterback position, generally your pass catchers are going to struggle. Kenny Golladay, speaking of pass catchers, he also has a knee injury. He's expected to miss week 6. I don't think it's been confirmed yet exactly what his knee injury is, but they expect him to miss a week or 2. With him, it's kind of always the story. Can he stay healthy?
And right now, he can't.
Dallas Goedert was simply sick. Didn't participate in Monday's walkthrough. No reason to be concerned yet. Kadarius Toney pops up on the injury report with an ankle injury. Undergoes X-rays. The injury doesn't seem to be significant.
Did he get in
Kadarius,
the fight?
I thought it would have been a wrist injury.
I did too after punching a helmet.
What an idiot.
He probably got it walking to the sideline after the fight. But
Stomp it off.
how much are you bidding on Kadarius Toney?
I mean, assuming this ankle injury isn't much, I would say safely right now, the thing that concerns me is Daniel Jones. If Jones is just a minor concussion and he's only out,
Maybe a week.
last game, maybe he comes back, maybe out this week, comes back next week. Toney, I think, has some decent value this season, assuming he can figure out his situation and not get angry in the field. Because the biggest thing for him not playing has been character issues.
Although what he got mad about was a pretty bitch move by the cornerback.
Which
It
is
wasn't-
fine.
He didn't start that whole thing, did he?
Toney didn't start it.
He
No,
was going in and defending his team.
no. He caught a ball and about 5 or 6 Cowboys held him up, and then at the end of the play, the cornerback threw him to the ground, picked him up and slammed him to the ground. And so Toney got up, and then a few other Giants came in. Things were said. One Giant shoved a guy, another guy shoved a guy, and then Toney came in and punched the guy in the helmet. It was just kind of a bang bang play, but it doesn't make it okay if you're throwing punches.
Yeah, I get it. Probably was called for in a sense, but at the same time, you can't do that. Get you kicked out, get you a penalty, set back 15 yards. If you're in a close game, that can be the difference between field goal position.
And if you end up
down.
stringing together games like he just had, where you go for 10 catches on 189 yards, defenses, if they know they can get under your skin, they will do things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got to keep your composure.
Slant boy.
With Slayton, Shepard, and Galladay and Barkley all banged up, Toney's going to play.
Yeah, and especially in the short term, he has value. Long term, we'll see what happens when they start getting all these weapons back. I think Barkley with that ankle injury is going to be done for multiple weeks. I hope it truly is just a low ankle sprain like they said it is. If that's the case, it's probably only a 2 or 3 week injury. But if it's a high ankle sprain, it's not good.
No, then he's out at least 4 weeks, I would say. Now, he does seem to be the type of guy. He came back off that ankle sprain a couple of years ago in 2 weeks, and they thought it was going to be 6 or 7.
He does have a little freak factor to him, kind of like AP had.
But he also tends to get hurt a lot more than AP did.
That's true.
That was a freak accident, though.
It was.
Aren't they all kind of freak accidents?
But I mean, it wasn't like he got hit in the ankle or got twisted and weird. He got stepped on running. I feel like that could be anyone, and their ankle's going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But definitely.
Damian Harris, rib/chest injury. They say he's okay. Per Ian Rappaport, reports say that Damian Harris is okay after suffering chest and rib injuries that knocked him out of Sunday's game against the Texans. It's something to monitor. I think Brandon Bolden has some potential here if Damian Harris misses any time. I would not go out and get Ramondre Stevenson. He was completely ineffective in his carries. I think he had 6 carries for like 12 yards or something.
J.J. Taylor is the pass catcher there.
Who still hasn't really popped yet this season, but he did have a few nice moments last year. Tyreek Hill, minor knee injury, not expected to miss any time. The Chiefs had about as bad of a game as I've seen them have in the Mahomes Reed era.
They've
On
had
Sunday
a
night.
bad start to the season
Yeah.
altogether. I mean, Mahomes has played well for the most part. Wow, look at Taylor go. 3rd and 15, screen pass to the house. It was a screen pass.
Did you
right?
start him?
I started.
Star asked us a start-sit question yesterday, and I think I was the one that said you should bench Taylor.
I went Taylor Hunt. And
Chubb.
I told you, first 3. And you're sitting happy. Look at that. That's a big play.
That's who was in my lineup, but that's I take someone else.
Who were we talking about here? I got distracted.
Let's just move on. We're talking about the Chiefs and their
Oh,
issues.
yeah,
but
yeah.
let's throw in really quick here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire suffers an MCL sprain. He'll be out for a few weeks.
They're lucky it was MCL.
They are. It looked bad.
The way he got kind of pulled back and twisted, that's kind of what they figured. So that's good. If you're looking at running backs, Darrell Williams, they really like. Jerick McKinnon is starting to get in his groove a little bit. We saw some action out there with him last night. But this offense needs to figure out what's going on. First off, their defense isn't very good. They let up, 30 points, I think it was, to the Bills, and then the Bills end up getting that pick 6 off of Tyreek Hill, bounced off his hands. He's dropped a couple passes in that game especially. They just haven't been the same.
Let's remember here, we're 5 weeks into the season. There's a lot of football left. There's an extra whole week in the season. The Chiefs, by the time it's all said and done, are probably going to win that division. Maybe not. The Chargers might, and the Chiefs will be a wild card team, but the Chiefs will be in the playoffs, and they're going to be a very difficult out. But right now, they got a lot of stuff to figure out on defense.
Yeah, I'm not calling the season on them yet. I'm just saying as far as the fantasy aspect goes, I'm not really that comfortable. I mean, you're still going to start Kelsey, Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill when they're playing.
But outside of that, there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, there's really, any of those other wide receivers, unless Josh Gordon starts to step up. I mean, we saw, a couple catches last night.
Yeah, they did actually get him in there a lot more than I thought they would. And when he was in the game, he actually got targeted. So that was a little surprising. He'd be worth maybe a flyer. Darrell Williams is definitely worth some money, but I think I'd rather have Jerick McKinnon for what it's going to cost to get him rather than Darrell Williams. I think Jerick McKinnon definitely has pop, and I think the Chiefs could use it. Because neither Williams nor Edwards-Helaire is a very fast and shifty runner. And Jerick McKinnon is that. Plus, Jerick McKinnon can catch really well, too, which all of these guys can. But I think Jerick McKinnon would be worth a flyer on if you don't want to spend a lot of money on Darrell Williams for just a couple weeks. Ajay Pirine, reserve/COVID list. A lot of people picked him up last week thinking that Mixon wasn't going to play, and Mixon ended up playing.
Pirine still had a nice little week, though.
He did. Curtis Samuel remains week to week. He was on the IR. I believe he was taken off the IR, but he's now sitting there waiting for his return.
You guys seen the hug thing?
Yeah.
It's sad. Makes me sad.
I did not.
So Samuel obviously played for the Panthers. Him and DJ Moore were best friends. And so they would hug before every game when they went out there. And then when they played each other last week, they did both a ghost hug in the locker room before they went out. And then some rumors are saying the reason that DJ Moore swapped his number to 2 is because 12 minus 10 is 2. And Samuel was 10.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Wasn't DJ Moore number 2 in college, though?
That could be.
I think that's a little
People might be just looking into it. Maybe it's a weird coincidence.
He was, I believe, number 2 in college.
I also heard that Derek Carr and Khalil Mack are like best friends.
Yeah. I think Khalil Mack is actually a godfather to one of Derek Carr's children.
Yeah.
And they also, all of his kids have Khalil Mack jerseys. They love each other.
Yeah, that's what they were saying on the TV last night. The announcers were talking about it. That's pretty cool.
Joe Burrow has a throat issue. What the fuck? You can throw fine with a throat issue. I don't know why this even shows up.
He went to the hospital after the game.
There's a silent count.
When I hear throat contusion, I'm like, oh, is he going to die? What's happening right now?
Turns out he was fine.
Somebody just straight up throat chopped him really nicely. Quintez Cephas, broken collarbone, done for the season. That's a little unfortunate. He had a few nice moments with the Detroit Lions as a pass catcher.
So Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I think he's back to a guy that you should at least put on your radar. He had a few nice little catches against the Purple yesterday, but they were all on Rashad Bieland, and most corners aren't that bad. So I don't know
There's only 5 worse.
Rashad Bateman season is on hold for another week. The guy's not even active.
That's why I pointed, because I thought there was a Bateman sighting, and I was like, no, it's Stephen Nate.
Rashad Bateman, due to his groin injury, is not going to be activated for Monday night against the Colts. It's got to be next week. And I would recommend getting him because the Ravens have Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews, and that's about it for receivers.
Sammy Watkins has been doing all right for him, hasn't he?
I don't think he's been viable from a fantasy perspective.
I'm going to pull him up right now.
Long story short, there's definitely catches to be had from a wide receiver, and Rashad Bateman is a first-round pick.
Watkins hasn't had under 8.5, so he's had a solid, well, not solid. He's had a above below average.
4 receptions a game.
Yep.
So he's
4
had
every game.
So he's had a high floor.
Yeah, 13.5, 8.5, almost 11, almost 9. So I mean,
To be honest, he's been better than he's been more consistent than he's been in his career since Buffalo. That's
you get
pretty
the highs
decent.
and lows with him before.
Christian McCaffrey, head coach Matt Rule is hopeful that McCaffrey comes back this week, and everybody in Vikings land is hopeful that he's not ready for this week.
True.
Yeah,
So-
but if he does come back, I don't think they're going to go full workload with him. I think they're going to have to ease him in a little bit. Maybe use Chuba out there a little bit more. Who's the other guy? Bonifay? Is that Reggie Bonifay or Bonifay? So they're using him as well.
Bonafide.
So I don't think they're going to just throw him out there to the Wolves, but
That would
never
really
know.
be the Wolves.
It'd be the Vikings.
oh yeah.
I don't think they're just going to throw him out there to the Vikings or anything, but he's definitely got a shot.
You know what? We might have Cat out there. Andrew
That's
Wiggins
true.
doesn't play for us anymore.
But Edwards does.
He was trying to name his
Yeah,
name.
he was, and he fucking
All
stopped
right,
at one.
let's go. Give me 2 more. Current Timberwolves players besides Cat.
Well, Scott kind of said Anthony.
That doesn't
Edwards.
count.
We picked up that older guy who plays.
Not giving you that.
But we did.
How much older?
I don't know. He's probably like 32, right? We just traded for him. Shit. There's one more other guy that's
Where's the circus
on our
music
team.
sounder?
Cat Edwards. We let go of Rubio. Just a mistake.
Nope, traded him for who? Who'd we get from?
Probably Enos Cantor.
Well, nice try though. That'd be cool. I like him.
I have no idea.
I want to know what old guy he's thinking of.
He's thinking of the Bulldog.
Oh, Beverly.
Yeah.
Yes, Pat Beverly. He's on the team. And who's the other guy?
Well, there's a lot of other guys on the team.
Who's
It's
the
a
other-
12-man roster, so
D'Angelo Russell.
That's the one I was
Malik
thinking of.
Beasley.
you weren't thinking of Tarian Prince, the guy that we got for Rubio,
Naturally, that yep. He
or
was
maybe
next.
you were thinking of the young stars, like Josh Okogie,
Vanderbilt.
Jaden McDaniels.
I should have known it, Kogi.
Hey, nice try, though.
Next up, Wild. Matt Dumba.
Jake Lamb. Matt Dumba's not on the team anymore, dude. You just fucking really make it. No, he is. I'm
I
just
was
kidding.
going to say, he's not.
No,
This
he
is what
is.
I just read
He's a
something
captain, I
about.
think, this year, actually. The Wild started this week, by the way, Friday night. So if you're a Wild fan, which, I mean, we're all like, we only listen when it's forced into our ears.
I can name 2.
Yeah.
Kirill.
Kirill the Thrill. Actually, last year I watched the most hockey I've watched in my life, just because why not, I guess. Kirill Kaprizov is about as best of playmakers they've ever had. So I watch a good amount. I'll watch a decent amount this year, too. I'm beginning to become more and more. Speaking of good
I got
play,
a butthole
though,
beef.
is this Gage's Rage of the Week, but
I don't
instead
know.
it's Star Lamar's Rage
It's
of the Week?
fucking Valley Total Fitness TV needs to get on other fucking things than just DirecTV and cable. Because I can't watch Timberwolves, Wild, or Twins games because I do a streaming service. This is the future of streaming services. Everyone's cutting the fucking cord. Get with the fucking program. Get on YouTube TV. Get on Swing TV. Get on
Anywhere.
Hulu Live. All of them.
Yeah.
Because people want to watch their fucking home teams.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. ValleyTotalFitnessTV.com, whatever the fuck your name is.
Valley Sports, right?
Valley
Valley
Sports North.
Sports.
Yep.
Figure it out. Go to YouTube TV. Paid partnership.
I think
Well,
actually,
we're not paying, right?
No, they pay us.
Okay, yeah.
I think actually, Bally is working on a standalone subscription, which I would pay $5 a month for during season.
I mean, you think it would only cost that much?
I don't know. It'd probably be what the normal rate is, anywhere from 9 to 12. But I would pay
I would
that.
only want it for Timberwolves Wild.
Yeah, Thursday
I'm not gonna sit down and watch Twins. Sorry, Gabe.
Thursday.
It's
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
you'd want it from like October to March. Yeah.
So, and if it was $10 a month, I'd probably do that as a standalone.
Yeah.
Put that on my second TV when I got my first TV with important things on it.
Like say some porn things.
Important things. Maybe that is porn things, though. They're not mutually exclusive.
That's true. Like it could be one of the own.
I was gonna say though, speaking of good sports, Saturday this past weekend, my God, college football brought the
Alabama
heat.
lost.
We saw Rattler get benched, which anyone who watched QB1 saw that coming.
And we watched the Oklahoma-Texas game for the ages as Oklahoma came back and won.
That Iowa and Penn State game
Was an absolute thriller.
Kentucky's undefeated.
And of course, Bama loses to Texas A&M.
Dude, and that bet
You know what that
over,
did? Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't see that after he lost because everyone's like, "Is this a guaranteed win?" And all the comments were like, "Yeah, it's free money." Like,
Yeah, dude. What was the bet? He bet how much to win? How much? Do you remember?
it was like $565,000 to win $105,000, and it was money line Ohio State over Maryland, Cincinnati over nobody. I don't remember who Cincinnati played, but it was like a really small school, and Alabama over Texas A&M parlay. And so he lost $565,000 because Alabama shit the bed. But that's what happens when you bet on 18-year-olds. Like, one bad day out of some 18-year-olds and you're out your mortgage. Like,
when, like you said, is that fuck you money or is that
fuck me money.
Yeah, there's a better way.
I seriously, you don't make that parlay unless it's fuck me money. Like, why would you make that otherwise? People that have fuck you money don't bet a parlay like that. You don't need
That's
to.
Professional gamblers, they bet big to win small for sure things.
Because they can, and that
They
helps
want-
build up their bankroll
they
so they
want
can take
just-
risky moves.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you're gonna bet $100 for, the Titans to beat the Jags, and you think that's a for sure thing, which is a pretty safe bet, or anybody playing the Jets, it's not gonna win you any money. But if you bet $10,000, then you're starting to make pretty decent.
And hypothetically, you're looking at Saturday, like, all right, if I bet this 3-team parlay, which is a gimme, and now I can bet $105,000 on a 7-leg parlay that might be worth $1.5 million, right?
Or you take that and place it on another 1 or 2 parlay, but again, guaranteed bets. I mean, who would have thought Alabama was going to lose?
Nobody. And I would be curious to see how many bets came in on A&M, because I bet there was less than 5% of the bets came in on A&M.
Oh, I'm
What
sure.
was the spread? Are you saying
dude,
just money line?
Just straight up money line.
Probably not even 5% money line for them.
Honestly, I bet you it was less than 30% that even came in on the spread, which I think was like 23.5.
That's nuts.
They lost to Arkansas, who just got dominated by Alabama. So when people do the math, A plus B, B plus C, they're thinking, all right. this
And
team's gonna
Arkansas was 17.5-point dogs to Bama.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll pull it up anymore what the line was, but
I'm
It's
still
a rough
upset
one.
that I put money on the Jets on a 12-team parlay, and it just pisses me off. Did you hear about that?
Maybe.
Gage and I a couple weeks ago did a 12-team parlay, $1 to win like $2,700. Got 11 of 12 right.
Really?
We bet the Jets to beat the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos, and they got a 9.
How different would that payout have been had you picked the Broncos? Did you play with it to see like what the values were?
They were plus like 415 or something over the Jets. Or the Jets were plus 415. So it probably would have dropped us down to like $1 to win like 1,700 or 2,000.
Better than nothing.
Still would have taken it.
it was minus 18, so not as bad as I thought it was. But
It's still a lot of points.
I just remember on the radio they were saying that Alabama, whatever the spread was, is guaranteed money. And apparently not. Because It was still a walk-off field goal for A&M, but Bama wasn't even close to covering 18. Although, like you said, he just bet the money line. So
I did see the video of the parents of that kicker, Seth Smalls or something. I mean, that type of stuff gives me goosebumps.
That is going to be his claim to fame the rest of his life, is that he made the field goal that beat number 1 ranked and fucking juggernaut Alabama.
Yeah. You know what I want to see? The
Gophers
video of Blair Walsh's family sitting in negative 5-degree weather when he missed that fucking field goal against Seahawks in the playoffs and how they reacted. Obviously, is a feel-good moment for them. But I want to see fucking Gary Anderson's family sitting in the Metrodome. That's the fucking video I want to see how they react. Oh, you're still good, honey? Yeah, fuck off.
In a 72-degree stadium with no wind. I want to see Gary Anderson's family.
At Gary Anderson's age, I don't know if his family was still alive when he was kicking for us.
That's true. He was like
You're
80.
assuming parents.
Yeah, I was assuming parents.
He probably had children, siblings,
A wife.
something.
Could be.
Probably not after that game.
Yeah.
That is true. And they do have a lot of vows in marriage when you get married, but through missed kicks is not one of them.
I didn't say it.
No.
It happened at my wedding.
So his wife would have had perfect grounds to break up with him. Sickness
It
and health.
might be in Kareem Hunt's wedding vows when he ties the knot, though.
You get to miss 3 kicks.
Oh my god, that's brutal.
Ooh.
All right, what else is there for the week?
Talk about a player, though, that if he would have still been on the Chiefs, how much better that team would be.
I was just saying, I don't remember who I was talking to about it, but I was like, they should have just kept him. Look at the teams that keep players through really shitty situations, and they just throw them on the exempt list, let it play out, and then boom, the player comes back. Kareem Hunt wasn't like a nobody when the Chiefs cut him.
No, you led the league in rushing.
He was a
year.
damn good player. Like, he was a monster. So, and it was at the time only really, it was allegations, right?
No, the video. There's video of him.
There was video of it?
Yeah,
Okay, well, that does
and,
change
and
things.
their biggest reason for getting rid of it wasn't the fact that he did it, but that he lied about it.
Yeah.
They said, we asked him if this happened. We had got reports of it, and he said, no, I never left my hotel room. Never did anything. And then the video came out, and they said, the trust is gone. You lied to us, and you did this.
Which I guess that does make some sense. But then they stick through Tyreek Hill through his situation. So it's like,
But his was allegations.
wow.
They drafted Tyreek Hill in a situation.
Right. But Tyreek Hill's had pictures and stuff. And it had a fiance, I think it was, that decided not to push the envelope.
I thought it came out that she was making things up.
I don't think so. Who knows? Long story short, both allegations were terrible.
Yeah.
And they decided to cut bait with one. If the lying part that Star says is correct regarding Kareem Hunt, it kind of makes sense why they cut the knot or why they cut ties and moved on. And remember, too, when the Browns brought him in, the Browns were a terrible team.
In a terrible city.
In a terrible city with terrible fans.
And that's his hometown.
And it's his hometown. So
He went to Toledo, I believe.
he did.
So,
So that
all
makes
right,
sense.
getting away from the controversies of him, who's a better running back, Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb?
For my money, give me Kareem Hunt. But
Runner, I think it's Nick Chubb.
give me Kareem Hunt. If
Who
I have
would
to,
you want to be your number one running back on your team?
I want Kareem Hunt. But I am completely biased. I remember watching Kareem Hunt film getting ready for a rookie draft for fantasy, and I absolutely fell in love with the guy. He's fucking powerful, fast. He could catch. He could do everything. Nick Chubb's just a little bit better as a true running back. But Kareem Hunt, fuck. His ability to catch the ball, and he's a big son of a bitch. I didn't really realize how big he is until the Vikings played him last weekend, and I could actually compare size to guys I normally see the Vikings play, and I was like, fuck, he's a big dude. I mean, Chubb is too, but I don't know. The fact that the Browns have those two running backs, I would literally never throw the ball.
If Baker was a little bit better, they would probably be front runners in the AFC.
Do you know who they could use?
Deshaun Watson, Case Keenum,
The fourth,
Teddy Bridgewater.
the fourth quarter pharaoh, Kirk Cousins. If they had Kirk Cousins on that team, Super Bowl homeboy.
I don't know. I don't know.
Top 5 offensive line to protect for him. Running game that's just dynamic. Kevin Stefanski, who knows him as good as anybody.
We didn't get to talk about it together because I missed last week.
The
That
game?
we could have lost by.
We
30
should have.
points.
We should have.
Baker was not on at all. So yeah, no, he missed Odell on a huge one. Like that could have been real rough for us.
He looked a lot better though on Sunday. Baker did.
Yeah, they put up 42.
Yeah.
I like what they did at the end of the game. Tried to carry Eckler into the end zone
Yeah.
to give them a shot. I mean, that's a heads-up play. That's a smart football move.
Yeah.
On both sides. Eckler not trying to go in. Obviously, that's counted in his head, but a lot of players, Todd Gurley didn't know how to do it.
He could have done better at not trying to go in.
He could have.
I mean, he ran like to the 1 yard line and stood up. What do you think's gonna happen? He played himself in fantasy. He's like, "Oh, I'm not trying to, coach. Oh shit! Oh shit! They brought me in. I'm sorry."
That's game of the year so far.
That was, and Gage got to go to it.
Yeah.
God, lucky
Congrats,
bastard.
Gage.
That's awesome.
And too, I messaged him and asked why you're in Vegas? Why wouldn't you go to the Vegas game, the Raiders game? And he goes, we tried to, but tickets were as expensive for just tickets as all inclusive to the Chargers. And I was like, fuck, that makes like total sense. LA is not that far from Vegas. I'd go watch the Chargers and Browns too. Not to mention, Chargers Browns had potential to be a way better football game than Raiders Bears.
And it was.
And it was.
In hindsight.
And it was,
Yeah.
it even blew all expectations out of the water.
Yeah, the way
The
that
Chargers
came out.
scored 26 points in the fourth quarter. Could you imagine watching that as a fan?
Do they have fans?
Could you
Yeah.
imagine watching that as just
One,
a
at
football
least.
fan like Gage is? With
It just
fantasy players littered up and down that offense?
Yeah, he got 70 points, I think. No, he got 72 points between Herbert and Eckler in our half-point league.
Just absurd. All right.
Insane week.
What else? Do you have like a butthole 5 or anything for the week?
I don't today. I've been busy.
We will be back next week with Gage's Rages, Infinity Stones, and I got good feedback from people. The Infinity Bones will also be back next week, which I thought was a brilliant bit.
I can give you a couple on my fantasy team. Infinity Bones of the week.
Is that like I got a bone to pick with you? Or what?
No, the Infinity Bones are just players that just completely torpedoed your team. Played like shit. All right, Brandon, name us your roster.
Let me pull it up for you quick. Kenny Galladay, he was a boner. Pat Mahomes wasn't great.
Oh, boner.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley wasn't good.
Oh, you want Infinity Bones? Just let me pull up our Scott Fishbowl team.
Yeah, I started Jeremy McNichols, and he fucked me. It was bad. It was a bad week. in my
Every
league.
Trey Sermon.
Sermon
which-
was like 0.1.
I don't know why you would have started him unless you're trying to get the first pick. Shout out Shanny. Who else was awful? That was a chew-in start. That's just top of the head Infinity Bones.
Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney didn't do great. I mean, my whole team.
Kyler had a bad week.
Kyler did have a
Kyler's
bad week.
standards, 13 points.
Oh, Terry McLaurin. He had 8 points in a PPR league. That's not
not-
going to do well for you.
That's not good.
No.
Sam Darnold put up 6. A lot of people are starting him, hoping to get those rushing touchdowns.
Infinity.
Hurcha.
Stephon Diggs only got 8.9. The PPR.
Adam Thielen ended up with 6 because of the final drive
Yeah,
going
he
down
was
the field.
putting up a goose egg until 35 seconds left in the game.
Uh,
Definitely a bone.
Where do you guys sit with Dawson Knox?
Okay, let's get into Infinity Stones because there's a few that just hit me. Dawson Knox, these might not be the absolute top scorers because Gage didn't do the work this time because he's in Vegas and we don't do the work for him. But Dawson Knox and Kyle Pitts are the 2 tight end Infinity Stones.
They have to be. Pitts had a really good week.
However,
Party.
I want to talk strictly Dawson Knox. I think he might be the absolute steal of the fantasy season from the tight end position for fantasy players. I think in that offense and the way that he showed that he's able to make catches last night in the game, he has a chance to be very, very good.
and he's not slow.
No.
He's
Big and
not,
tall and fast.
Not a huge burner, but he can move.
Yeah.
He can get down the field. I am very happy in the Dynasty League.
You needed a shot of adrenaline like that in your tight end position.
Because I had him when he was a rookie, and I just kind of putzed around with him a little bit, and then I released him, and I moved on to bigger and better things like Austin Hooper and Cole Kmet. And then I realized they weren't bigger and better things. So I went back to Dawson Knox. And, he got like 20.8 points.
And he had a good week before that. I think he had 17 the week before that.
Yeah, 2 good weeks in a row. I didn't start him the week before. This was the first week I had him. But I'm pretty happy with where he's at. And I think on the Bills team, a team that's going to score points, he's going to be playing well.
So he had 14.9 in week 3. He had 20.7. He had 37 yards on 5 catches and 2 touchdowns in week 4. And then in week 5 last night, he had
20.7.
3 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. He had like a 70-yard touchdown grab.
Yeah.
It was like 65 or 70 yards.
Somewhere in that
Long
range,
touchdown.
Broken
And
coverage.
he's also got 5 touchdowns on the season. So he's getting the targets. He's got in the last 3 weeks 5, 8, and 4 respectively. He's getting the touchdowns, which is the most important thing for fantasy period, but out of the tight end position especially. And then he's also getting the yards, which he got 49 in week 3, 37 in week 4, and 117 in week 5. I think he's a marvel.
Even in the first 2 weeks, he got 8.1 and 9.7. And coming down the list here, I mean, he's got Jacksonville. He's got the Jets. He's going to go against New Orleans. I mean, he's got a pretty
That's not a great draw, to be honest. It's not horrible by any means.
With the Bills, the Bills are not a team to slow down.
That's true. But New Orleans is a good defense. New England, they played twice. They didn't actually look great yesterday, but they're known to be a pretty decent defense.
Lost to Houston.
Yeah. And Davis Mills diced them up. Rookie Davis Mills. Tampa Bay is historically pretty good against tight ends. The thing is, though, with Buffalo is Buffalo has so many players, and Josh Allen's so good that I'm not going to sit a player because it's not a great matchup. You're going to start Stephon Diggs every single week. You're going to start Josh Allen every single week. And I think Dawson Knox, based on how thin the tight end position is, he's a guy you can start every single week.
I'm going to look at
I got him in 1 league. I was happy with the pickup.
Like for me in our friends league, I got Gronkowski off waivers before the season started, and then I picked up Dawson Knox. So I got 2 tight ends now that I like. And I honestly, based on matchups, I could flex one every week. I'm not going to because I have other good skill players, but I wouldn't feel bad some weeks starting Gronk and Dawson Knox.
You got Mike Williams on your bench, so
Yeah,
I think I'd play him over
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
Yeah, maybe.
He's only got
Or Michael Carter.
3 games coming up until fantasy playoffs are over that are negative game script against tight ends. New Orleans is 9, and he plays New England twice, and they're number 1 against tight ends. Otherwise, Miami 19, Jacksonville 24, Jets 26, Indy 16, Tampa Bay 28. Finishes with Atlanta at 13. So, I mean, he's got
not a bad matchup,
Yeah.
or not a bad little streak there. So, yeah, Dawson Knox, he should be grabbed in every league, but if he's available, go get him.
Oh, no. My table.
Kyle Pitts, the unicorn. Yeah, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the lights are out. It's been a hell of a show. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Butthole. Go jerk off.
Bye.